Wow, it's been almost 2 weeks since I've picked up the camera and filmed anything, and I thought I'd just do a little mid-summer check-in, tell you what's been going on behind the scenes, and just catch up a little bit. Things have been going well in the business and growing in a way that I'm just so excited about. It's almost like all of the work I've been putting in throughout the spring and early summer has finally started to come to fruition. I've been doing my one-on-one free sessions with people in the last couple of weeks, and they've been going really well. I'm learning a lot, and it's just been so fun to connect with you and to just see how I can help you grow or start your business. I actually booked my first ever client, so I am feeling so excited to work with her, and I'm just thrilled that it's all happening, and all of these things that I've been working on and planning and just putting together for you are starting to actually blossom. So that has been feeling really good. This week has been really crazy because of course I decided to take on additional creative projects that were nothing to do with my work. So if you didn't know, my whole career was as a chef working in restaurants, and until last year I also had a private chef business that I ran on the side along with Smeeney. And this year is the first year that I haven't had that farm to table private chef business or done any chefing professionally at all in my entire career. But my friend who I worked with for a long time, he's in the process of opening a space and asked if I would help with a couple of the opening things. So for the last few days, I've been helping with prep and making sure the systems are in place and working on building out the flow of the kitchen and all of that stuff. And that is something that is just so in my wheelhouse, which is funny because I feel like building those systems and opening restaurants, I've opened I think 4 spaces, has really helped with me running a business and growing 2 businesses and figuring out systems. And now that I'm doing some mentorship programs, it's really helping me see what projects people want to do or bring to life, see what business people want to bring to life, or what help or pivots they want to make in their business, and actually see how to make them flow more easily or feel more aligned or create systems that will make things feel more easeful. And looking back, I'm like, wow, all of this time as a chef and opening restaurants and things like that has really helped on my creative business journey as well. So it was cool to see. But this week I was kind of going back and forth like, oh, I really need to be working things on my business, but at the same time I really wanted to help my friend, and this is a particular project that is just very exciting to me. And I was only there for a few days, but it felt really good to just break my routine a little bit this midsummer. I was kind of thinking of it as almost like I needed a winter break in the middle of the summer, a place to just retreat. I was just feeling this like resistance to being seen. Like I haven't posted on Instagram, I haven't been filming, I haven't even hardly been taking any photos, I didn't post a YouTube video or send a newsletter, and I have been really consistent with all of those things. So I was kind of beating myself up about it, but then I thought, no, this is exactly what I talk about all the time in my videos and in my content. I talk about how we need to honor our capacity and energy, and it's okay to take breaks. And so I should allow myself to take breaks too. And so I did. And it felt really good. And even just working in the kitchen for a few days, it was a place where I didn't have to make any decisions. I could fill my cup with this other part of my creativity that has been dormant for a little while, and just something that is different from my regular routine. And I think I've talked about this a little bit, but it's such a weird thing to struggle a little bit with your identity and your ego. And I think people don't often talk about what that looks like when you move on from a career, or when you quit your job to start something new, or when you make a big pivot or a big shift in your life, how a big part of the struggle is actually that identity piece and the ego that we have around something that we've been doing for a long time, or something that has felt really familiar. And I found myself in therapy even getting a little bit emotional about it, because with the chef world, it was something that I was really good at and I was very confident in. And it's funny that I say was, because I still am. I still cook for myself. I still cook for friends and things like that. And I am so confident in what I bring to the table with that and in my skills with that. And even in Smeeney, it's like I know how to run the knitting business. I know how to sell at markets. I know how to sell at my local shops and online. But with this new branch of the business where I am starting to offer mentorship and coaching for other creative business owners, it's something new. And even though it's something that I feel very excited about and confident in, there is a little bit of fear and this voice of self-doubt that's like, can I actually help people get to where they want to go? Can I actually help people achieve their goals? And it even feels vulnerable sharing that with you, but I think that's just the reality of making a shift, is there will be self-doubt because it is new still, and I'm just at the beginning of this journey. And even though in Iceland, when I hosted that creative retreat, I saw the transformation in all of the people that came. I've heard all of my friends or people who I've had one-on-ones with tell me, wow, this has already been so helpful. I cannot wait to work more with you. Or in the past, when friends have come to me for advice about how to start their businesses and now they're actually succeeding and running their full-time businesses, there's still a big part of me that feels like I have to prove myself. And it's just something to reflect on, because I think we all fall into this here and there. And I think that's why it is so hard for people to make big changes or make shifts in their life, because even if something is not the right fit or it feels really misaligned, but it's familiar, our brains are trying to protect us and tell us, well, even though this sucks, I know what's going to happen. I know what to expect. But with this new thing, even though it seems exciting and aligned and like I really want to do it, I don't know what will happen if I pursue this. And we all go through this. And obviously for me, I've gone through this evolution time and time again with the 8 years I've been running my businesses and growing 2 businesses, going full time in both of them, and now letting one go and growing an entirely new branch of my offerings. There are parts of it that are scary, but equally so exciting. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you because that is something I've been wrestling with, and I was debating even talking about it on camera. But this week has just been really busy because I was helping, like I said, in the kitchen, and then I have client work right now. So it's a lot on the computer, so not as interesting to film, but I've just been really wanting to focus on that. And because I had less time this week, I really needed to figure out what my priorities were. And so that was making sure the clients had the best experience, that everyone who signed up for a free session got my full attention. And so if that meant letting go of the consistency of doing a weekly email and a weekly video and posting on Instagram, that is okay. And on top of all of that, I also just felt this need to disconnect a little bit. And I don't know if you've heard people talking about like an analog summer or a 90s kid summer, but I was really leaning into that a little bit because it was like, what was it like before we had smartphones, before we were connected all the time? What were the things that we loved to do? And I feel really grateful that in my life, there are a lot of things to do outside and I love to do them, and I have friends that I can do them with. But I also feel like I've been on the computer a lot lately and really doing a lot of Instagram and YouTube and stuff like that. And so I just needed a couple weeks to like release a lot of that, to just kind of hunker down and read my book and knit quietly without being filmed, or go on these long hikes and not feel like I had to capture these moments. So I did that. And I've also just been getting excited about trying some new creative endeavors. And one of them is I'm going on this trip to Europe at the end of next month. And I really want to start a travel journal and sketchbook kind of a thing, and I am not good at drawing, but I really want to tap into that creativity. So I've been thinking about if I should do like some watercolor or those special paint pens and kind of do like an art travel journal or something like that, because I think that would be really fun. So I did go down the Pinterest rabbit hole a little bit, and I know that's on a phone, but I was just getting inspired by all these like other types of creative activities that I could do, and just for fun. And as a kid, I remember I would write poems all the time or write stories. Like I loved writing these like fantasy stories, and I would draw and play with like pastels and charcoals, and you can give me a stack of construction paper, scissors, and glue, and I'd make a bunch of stuff, and have the best time. So I was kind of thinking about that 90s kid concept and just going back to that a little bit and retreat a little bit. And I think that's always okay, especially as someone who has an online presence, who not only uses the internet to run my business, but also very seen. Like I document how I run my business on YouTube. I share things on Instagram. I write a weekly newsletter about rewilding life, creativity, and business, and sharing tips and things like that. And so it just sometimes can feel like a responsibility. Like I want to show up for you. I want to show up for my community. I want to be active in the Discord to just create that safe space for other creatives and people like us who just want to live life on their own terms and create something meaningful. But I guess sometimes that also just makes me feel like I need to show up in one way or another. And a lot of time I'll take big breaks from Instagram, but I'll still be consistent on YouTube and my email. But this week I was just like, I just want to let go of all of that for a week, and that's okay. And when I'm on trips and vacation, I won't do it, but when I'm in work mode, I do try to be consistent and to provide value. So sometimes, like, a newsletter could take me many hours to make a good one, and sometimes I'm like, ugh, what am I doing? I just spent so much time on this. But then other times the words just flow and I know exactly what I want to say. So it just really depends on the energy. And then earlier this week, I don't know if it's the planets or like the Mercury retrograde or whatever is going on, but my energy was so low and I felt like my brain wasn't even functioning. And at first I got really down on myself for that too. Like, I was like, what is wrong with me? Why can't I do these things? And then later I was like, you know what? This is a sign of all signs. Just take a break and take a rest, because you can do that. It is okay. And I tell people that all the time, but I needed to listen to my own words and actually let myself do that without guilt. But anyway, I feel like I've been rambling. It has been a really awesome 2 weeks without filming. I've gone to some dinner parties and some great hikes and just enjoying time with friends and just bopping around town. But I'll be back soon with another vlog or a video about how you can rewild your life, business, and creativity. If you have any ideas of something you want me to talk about, put that down below in the comments. What have you been up to? How has your summer been? Have you felt this kind of midsummer need for a winter break and winter hibernation? Let me know. I always love hearing from you. But as always, thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next video.